one of Loti's Balabatim had the following illustration. He said gave an illustration of a family where the children are growing up, and different members of the family are going their own ways. And as is often the case, so one son parts and sets up his family and his business far away from home, and the one son stays with the father. And as time goes on, families get older, and the children have different relationships. The one that went far away is a good son, and he stays in touch, calls, sends a note once in a while. And the one that's close by is in constant contact. The one that's close by is together day and night and have a very rich relationship. Father was a chain smoker, and after about 20 years of this, his lungs gave way, and he was nifter. So during the course of the Shiva, so the brothers are sitting together. The one from out of town came back. He's there for the Levaya. He says, but when a person comes to be Menachem Ovel, so the son that was there, that lived close to the father, was very connected. So that Shiva is a Shiva where they're continuously discussing and talking about the father. They had a close relationship and understood the various behaviors and observances and midos and all the things he had learned from the father, the impression he had made, what he had accomplished. The other son, who lived far away, when he comes back and he's sitting, he's talking about his Shiva. He's talking about the ills of smoking. He's talking about the importance of teaching people about the dangers of smoking, the importance of warning people and having a stronger lobby. He says, what's the difference in the two sons? He said, that's how we come to Tishah. He says, there are two observances of Tishah. Those who feel a closeness to the Churban, to the Beis HaMikdash, feel a sense of loss. So their Tisha B'Av is talking about the Beis HaMikdash. It's talking about the distance we feel from the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's talking about the Kohanim losing their position. For those of us who are not that close, so then we have to focus on the various different themes, focus on good themes, focus on Sinas Chidam, so the focus on the video themes of Tishah B'Av afternoon. And that's really captures our Tishah B'Av. We try to address both. Our Tishah B'Av in the morning is right, tonight and tomorrow morning, we try to capture, we try to use the koyach hadimyon, the power of imagination, to try to imagine what it means to have lived Bizman HaBeis HaMikdash, what it means to lose the Beis HaMikdash. The afternoon, so then we focus on different themes. We focus on, tomorrow I think it's no say b'ol chaver, important things. Important things to think about. Well, those are the two different children that we are at once. And in our time, 2018, so it's reasonable that we have to move backwards and forwards. We often in Tishah B'Av speak about the debate that is well entrenched in Klal Yisrael about tomorrow afternoon's Nachem. The Nachem which Chazal wrote for us We say, Nachem es avelei Tzionis avelei Yerushalayim. Comfort the mourners of Tzin Yerushalayim. Es ha'ira ve'lo, in the city that is mourning. Ha'cherivah, that is destroyed. Ha'bezuyah, that is disgraced. Ha'shomeimah, that is empty. So, there's certainly a strong voice in Klal Yisrael that says, how can we say this to Rebbeinu Shalom in 2018? How can we refer to Yerushalayim as a Yerushalayim that's Charevah? Yerushalayim has a beautifully built city. Beautiful homes, beautiful apartments, beautiful streets, hotels, all sorts of different, best great architecture. How can we refer to Yerushalayim as Bizuyah? When you go to Yerushalayim, does anybody feel that Yerushalayim is Bizuyah, is disgrace? How can we say it's Mibli Baneha? You can't hardly move a car in Yerushalayim because of the traffic. How can you say Mibli Baneha? So the strong voice in Klal Yisrael that says it's inappropriate to say to this the Rebbeinu Shalom. So as if we're not real, as if we're not grateful for the rebirth of Yerushalayim. And then there's a voice within Klal Yisrael, which I accept from many Gdolei Yisrael, that you have to know how to read Nachem. Its children are all over Yerushalayim. We're not in the Arab quarter. There has to be scared to walk in the Arab quarter. Not in the Armenian quarter. In Ir David, that's really Yerushalayim, we would be frightened to be there after dark in most streets, even in broad daylight. So certainly there are great parts. On the other side of Har HaZeisim is also Yerushalayim. Going to Har HaZeisim when it requires livui, when it requires shmirah. Hacharivah mim'onoseho, that is destroyed of its ma'onos. I think it's ma'onos alekei kedem, that its spiritual sources are not there. There are beautiful homes in Yerushalayim, but a Kadosh Baruch Hu's home still has the mosque. We can't go freely. Firstly, people go to the Arabayas, can't move their lips, can't say a prayer. So it's not disgraced, but it's certainly disgraced from the cover it's supposed to have. That's our two Tishah B'Avs. Our Tishah B'Av is to take a moment. We speak so often how we are in times of redemption. We speak so often how we see the Yad Hashem the way no other generation saw the Yad Hashem. We see so often about we're seeing Kibbutz Goliath. We're seeing the flourishing of the soil of Eretz Yisrael. These are all clear indications of Gula from Navi. So Chazal say, Klal Yisrael says, but now we're just under 24 hours. Maybe a little bit less because we'll watch the videos tomorrow afternoon. But maybe a little bit under 24 hours. We have to set that aside. It's emes, it's true. And would we live, and we should live with that reality. And that's our reality when we speak to Kadosh Baruch Hu. For Tishah B'Av, that's the avoda of the day, is to say that's, to imagine what it's supposed to be like. What really should be there. Not in any way dismissing the gratitude we have to have, but that shouldn't take away from our appreciation how it's supposed to be. And it's not new to us. My father has often told me that in the late 40s, after the establishment of the state, Yaakov Moshe Chalap would have a Tishah B'Av. He had a hard time keeping his Shari Chesed, keeping the Balabatim in their seats for more than an hour Tishah B'Av morning. Because they said, we're back. And they were, out of respect for Rav Yaakov Moshe, they came to shul. They said kinas. But after an hour or so, they were doing it out of deference. In their hearts, they thought that it's the wrong machzer for this day. It's the avoda of the days to appreciate. It's to put aside just under 24 hours. Koyach hadimyon, the koyach hatziyah, to be able to imagine what things are supposed to be like. And it's not new to 2018, not new to the late 1940s. It goes back to the establishment of the second Beis HaMikdash. You look at Pasuk in Ezra, third parak. Ezra was establishing the second Beis HaMikdash. The yuzu alboinim is heichal. Hashem v'yamidu al-koinim miluboshim v'chatzoitzes v'alviyim b'nei Yosef b'mitziltayim l'halal es Hashem al yidei David melech Yisrael. They established the heichal. The koinim are dressed like kohen, and they hadn't been dressed like kohenim for 70 years. V'yanu v'halal v'hoidis l'Hashem, and the Harabayas was full of Hallel, saying thanks to Hashem, ki toiv ki le'olam chazdel Yisrael. And the entire nation that was there, Heiriyu Surah Gedola, V'halal Hashem al Usad Beis Hashem. We have the Beis HaMikdash back. The Rabbi Meir Koinim al Leviyim, the Rosh Oves Haskeinim, but many of the Kohanim, the Leviyim, the elders, Ashero was a Bayis Harishon, the Yozdoi, when they had seen the first Beis HaMikdash. The Yozdoi is a Bayis Beineyim. When they saw this Beis HaMikdash, Boichim b'kol godol, they were crying. V'rabim b'su b'simcha l'harim kol. Because they remembered, Beis HaMikdash is supposed to have Shechina. There's no Shechina. Beis HaMikdash is supposed to have an Oren with Kruvim. It was an empty Kodshe Kodshim. Moshe Shinerman, as a Rav in Brooklyn, he pointed out that the older generation, you know when they began to cry? It doesn't say they began to cry when they walked into Harabayas and it wasn't like it was. And it doesn't say they began to cry when they saw the Koinim Miluboshim and it wasn't the same way as it was before. They began to cry, V'rabim b'sruha b'simcha l'rim koyel. They began to cry when they saw that the younger generation was satisfied with this. That the younger generation could take joy with this. That's when they began to cry. When they saw that the Beis HaMikdash, the second Beis HaMikdash, as it was, satisfied the yearnings of the people, then they couldn't handle it. The debate that we have about Nachem in 2018 is the same debate that we had in Bayesheni. The younger generation was saying we have Beis HaMikdash back. We're back in Harabayas, we have Koyin Avoda. Everything will fall into place. And Rabbi Meir Koyin Al-Diyim, the old generation said, it's all true. But when they saw that that's all they were missing and all they needed, that it fell short. The avoda, our avoda of Tishah is all year round to be the younger kohen. Tishah B'Av to be the older kohen. On Tishah B'Av to take a step back and to try to think what was going through the minds of the older generation, of putting aside the tremendous appreciation that we have to have for all that Baruch is doing for us. And the course of Tishah B'Av guides us through that thought process. We'll see in the morning. The kinos carry us through that step by step, so that we try to relive the moments of Yirmiyahu, the great poetry of Reb Lozer Kalir, and that the avoda of Tishah B'Av 2018 is the kind of avoda that gives great great paths to ourselves and gives our relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu and Beis HaMikdash greater vibrance and nuance, and ultimately, in a very difficult way, gives nachas to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that He will give us the merit, to give us the opportunity to see it for simchas.